We're taking a look at other local stories. 14 individuals sustained injuries in a bus accident on the Kapithikul Padavia main road this morning. The police stated that a group returning after a wedding had met with the accident.
The bus travelling from Kuchaveli Trincomalee to Mana had gone out of control and crashed into a tree on the roadside. The police stated that the injured were rushed to the Kapithikul Hospital while some were transferred to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital. The police stated that 54 passengers had been travelling on the bus at the time of the accident and the condition of 9 is serious. Our correspondent reported that a newly married couple too had been inside the bus and the bride had sustained injuries to her leg.
Henannegala in Mahawaba Ampara, which was converted into a monastery by the Venerable Kithalagama Sila Lankara Thera in 1967, is a place of great historical value. This monk had arrived at this location, which had been used as an LTTE camp during the war, even before resettlement began in nearby villages at the end of the war. Thereafter, the archaeological officers who arrived at the location on being informed by the monk had identified a location and erected a hoarding naming the place as an archaeological interest and location for the proposed Henannegala monastery. However, it was on the 11th of November 2010 that Action TV telecast the first reminder that a number of drawings believed to be from the Anuradhapura era were being lost owing to the blind eye turned by the archaeology officials. Without taking any steps to protect the archaeological items in the monastery, what was done was to produce the incumbent monk at the Aranya in court the very next day, alleging that he had entered the area violating the Archaeological Act and was residing there illegally. Conservation work was commenced by the Department of Archaeology. There was a pagoda. It was being conserved, but the work stopped halfway. The hoarding erected at this archaeological location was also removed and taken away by some organization. The officials who alleged that this monk is illegally residing at the monastery have turned a blind eye to the destruction of items of archaeological value. We also reside at this location sometimes without food or even a drop of water. What we are protecting here is our culture and our heritage. Therefore, if they are inconveniencing us without helping us to protect these, it is our misfortune as well as the misfortune of the country. Shouldn't the immediate attention be given to the Henannegala monastery, which is facing such misfortune? Director General of Archaeology, this is over to you.
Massive hurricane battling towards the east coast of the US as both presidential campaigns throwing out their fourth quarter playbooks, cancelling events in the storm's track and attempting to balance last-minute intensity with a show of compassion for people whose lives could be upended. Hurricane Sandy has already killed 60 people in the Caribbean over the past week. News First Shamir Rasulin, who is in New York, filed this report.
As Hurricane Sandy approaches, New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg has ordered mandatory evacuations across many parts of New York, especially low-lying areas. Public schools are closed down today, with the public transportation system, that is the subway system, coming to a complete standstill late last evening. Shelters have been opened in 76 public schools for residents in light of Hurricane Sandy. New Yorkers are advised to prepare go bags with essentials in the event of an emergency. Now, 375,000 people have been advised to evacuate, with up to 60 million people being affected by Hurricane Sandy. Now, it's a gloomy day here in New York, and News First will keep you fully updated with regard to all the developments that will unfold in light of Hurricane Sandy. I'm Shamir Rasulin reporting for News First from New York, USA.
Well, thank you very much, Shamir, for that very comprehensive report. Now, an axiom in American politics is that as Ohio goes, so goes the election. Indeed, in the past 11 elections, no candidate has won the White House without winning the state of Ohio. The Midwestern state has been particularly hard hit by the economic recession, and both Mitt Romney and Barack Obama have spent millions there trying to convince voters that they are better suited to turn Ohio's fortunes around. Now, polls show that US President Barack Obama and former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney are running about dead even in the campaign to win the 18 electoral votes in the battleground state.
Well, Well, on to sports news now. Sri Lanka 2020 captain Angelo Matthews says that the team will try to lift the hopes of Sri Lankan cricket fans after the World T20 disappointment. He made this statement at a media briefing in Kandy today.
Tomorrow's series opening T20 match between Sri Lanka and the touring New Zealanders is Angelo Matthews' first match as 2020 captain. T20 vice-captain Lasith Malinga and Mahela Jayawardena will not play in tomorrow's match as they have been rested. The two teams have faced each other in 10 matches and the Black Caps have won 5 while the Sri Lankans have won 4.
I think we played well as a team till the final of the World T20 Championship, but losing the final affected our mentality. I think we have to build that mentality if we have to play well in the future.
Both teams were expecting to practice prior to tomorrow's match but were unsuccessful due to the prevailing bad weather. National curator Anuruddha Polornovita stated that the pitch has been covered since yesterday. Sri Lanka Cricket stated that if tomorrow's match is abandoned due to bad weather, another match will not be played since there is no reserved day for a replay.
Just a quick reminder for our viewers in the north and east before we leave you tonight. The Disaster Management Centre has advised people living within 500 meters of the coast from Batticaloa to Jaffna to evacuate as soon as possible as a mild cyclone is expected in the region at around 2 a.m.
Now, the mini cyclone heading towards Sri Lanka is packing winds of up to 80 kilometers per hour and is less than 100 kilometers away from the northeastern coastal line. It is expected to hit Sri Lanka at around 2 a.m.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of Primetime News. As always, it was an absolute pleasure having you with us. Join us again tomorrow. I'm Nadim Majid.
And I'm Arundhati Mudarnayaka. Good night.